Hello, I'm Chris Barrow with the BBC News. Ukraine has accused Russia of bombarding residential districts in the country's second largest city, Kharkiv, killing at least 11 people and injuring dozens. The head of the regional civil administration said there were no military targets in the areas under attack from Russian artillery and called it a war crime. Jonathan Beale looks at the Russian advance so far.
The Russians have made advances, but slower than expected. Their most significant gains have been in the south. Remember, one of Russia's early objectives was to create a land bridge from Crimea and then expand their control towards the Russian-declared republics in Donetsk and Luhansk. They've also made gains in the northeast, but as yet they've been unable to take the main cities there, like Kharkiv. Russian forces are continuing their efforts to surround the capital Kiev, but again, they're meeting fierce resistance. Western officials believe the invasion so far is not going according to plan.
Russia has been repeatedly criticised at the United Nations in New York during a day of emergency meetings about the invasion of Ukraine. Neda Tawfik is in New York.
Speaking at the start of the special session, the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said enough was enough. More than 100 nations will speak before the body votes on Wednesday on a draft resolution that deplores Russia's aggression, calls for the immediate withdrawal of its troops, and demands unhindered access for humanitarian assistance. The UN says its aid workers need safe passage to keep up with the immense needs. It estimates the number of refugees fleeing Ukraine to neighboring countries could reach 4 million in the coming days and weeks.
The United States says it's expelled 12 Russian diplomats at the UN in New York because of concerns about national security. The US mission to the UN described them as intelligence operatives who'd abused their privileges. Russia's UN ambassador Vasily Nebyenza said Moscow would respond. The oil giant Shell has announced that it's quitting all of its Russian operations in response to the Ukraine invasion. Simon Jack reports.
Shell didn't take long to follow BP to the exit from Russian oil and gas interests. While it's nowhere near on the scale of BP's potential $25 billion hit from offloading its 20% stake in the Russian state-controlled oil company Rosneft, Shell could suffer a loss of up to $3 billion as it offloads any interests in which it is a partner with another state-owned giant, Gazprom. As with BP, it's unclear how or to whom these businesses will be sold and whether they are now worth anything. This will not be the last global company to bring decades-long Russian collaborations to a financially damaging end. Russia's rapidly acquired pariah status is prompting a reckoning for company boardrooms around the world.
World News from the BBC. President Putin has given a long list of Russian conditions for resolving the crisis in a phone call with the French leader Emmanuel Macron. Mr. Putin told him there could only be peace if Ukraine was demilitarized and established as a neutral country, and if the world recognized Crimea as Russian. Football's world and European governing bodies, FIFA and UEFA, have suspended from international competitions all of Russia's national and club football teams for invading Ukraine. From Wembley Stadium, here's our sports editor, Dan Rowan.
Tonight, Russia finds itself effectively an international sporting pariah. FIFA had lots of criticism for allowing Russia to continue playing football, albeit with a different name, no flag or anthem, and on neutral venues. That meant that it could be possible for Russia to appear here at Wembley during the Women's Euros this summer and at the Men's World Cup later this year as well, despite national associations like the FA saying that they didn't want anything to do with Russia. FIFA acted along with UEFA, who also have ended their lucrative sponsorship arrangement with the Russian state-controlled energy giant Gazprom as well.
In other news, President Joe Biden has sent a delegation of former senior defense and security officials to Taiwan to give reassurance of continued US support for the island. The visit takes place as Taiwan steps up its alert level, saying it's wary of China taking advantage of a distracted West to move against it. Ships using Egypt's Suez Canal will have to pay more from Tuesday. Tolls for the canal, which connects the Mediterranean and Red Sea, are to rise by as much as 10%. The price hike comes just weeks after the Suez Canal Authority imposed an earlier 6% rise. The news comes at a time of growing inflation in many countries, with even bigger increases in oil and gas prices likely in Europe due to the ongoing Ukraine crisis. And that's the latest BBC News.